There are so few people who know what it's like to be hundreds, if not thousands of miles down below the surface of the sea and all of a sudden find themselves in an emergency. Most don't survive, but those who have some incredible insight into what it is like to process what you're going through. Fred Hagen is one of them. He has actually been on board the Titan submersible, not once, but twice. First time was in 2021, second time was last year. He is live with me now. Fred, thank you so much for being here. I wanted to ask you about the emergency that you encountered when you were on board this submersible. You actually, if I understand correctly, you actually did get snagged on the debris of the Titanic itself?
Yeah, I never actually called it an emergency. Someone asked me if we had an issue, and I reported that I was with P.H. Nargelot, who unfortunately is trapped as we speak in the Titan. We were investigating very close to the Titanic, and with the currents, it's hard to, control it precisely. And we did get momentarily snagged. I wouldn't say it was an emergency, and PH was able to maneuver the submersible out of that situation very quickly. So I would stop short of characterizing that as a true emergency. It was certainly an interesting event.
Well, I said to my previous guest he had guts of steel for saying he's more afraid in traffic than he is in a submersible, but I would definitely react differently, which leads me to the times that you said you have lost communications as well, only to reestablish. So walk me through those initial reactions when you do start to go through a process that isn't the norm.
Well, losing communications is not altogether unexpected, nor is it an indication that anything's wrong. I mean, you're a couple miles beneath the surface of the sea. You're not in an area where you can receive GPS signals. You're not in an area where necessarily, radio signals can go through. So you don't always have communication. That's not in itself indicative of a catastrophe. But so we did lose communications frequently during the dive and for extended periods. That was not unusual, nor was it cause for alarm.
Let me ask you about your characterization versus others' characterizations of those who are on board. People have been critical, saying these are billionaires buying tickets on something that is so, incredibly dangerous. Others have said they're reckless. You feel very differently. You say they're visionaries, they're mission specialists, sort of like Richard Branson. Why do you suppose there is this, divergence of characterization of people who are doing this kind of adventure work?
Well, there's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions. And yes, you have a whole mass of people out there that are saying, these are just wealthy guys. They're endangering themselves. They're taking risks. I don't view it that way. I think that the history of mankind is the history of taking risks, of going further than ever before, going deeper, going higher, going to outer space. And if this is a tragic occurrence, I don't think it's going to destroy the submersible industry. I think it's going to bring attention to it. There's going to be improvements. It's going to survive this, and it's going to go on and prosper, because deep sea exploration is fundamental to our future. All of the elements that we need to preserve the green economy and to fuel it are at the bottom of the seafloor. So it is critical that we learn how to go deep. It is critical that we go into the abyss. And believe it or not, these wealthy individuals were furthering that scientific effort. They're funding people like Stockton, who were visionaries, who want to go deeper, who want to open up that undersea world and democratize it. And it's truly tragic. I mean, I'm heartbroken. I love PH. He's one of the finest, warmest human beings I've ever met. And I have always admired and appreciated Stockton's friendship. I'm heartbroken. But if they are doing what they are passionate about, they're doing what they love, and everyone down there has embraced risk, accepted it, and they're celebrating life by accepting that risk and moving on. And it's a tragedy, and I wish we could have prevented it, I wish we could bring them up, and I want the Navy and everyone involved to make every effort to save them while there's still time.
I only have a couple of seconds left, but I just want to get your thoughts on whether you think that this may end up chilling Titanic exploration just by the headlines themselves. And again, I only have about 20 seconds.
The Titanic is the most iconic shipwreck in history. It is the focus of people's imagination. No, I don't think it's going to change that. I think the Titanic will be enhanced, if anything, by this sad and tragic incident, because that's what the Titanic was. One of the greatest maritime tragedies in history.
And I know that your dad was a sailor, and on your last mission, or at least one of the two missions, you took his ashes down there. Let's hope, as you said to a colleague of mine, that you don't have any more memorialized down there. Fred, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.